At the end of March of 2023, I gave myself the goal to reach GM by the end of the year. I mostly spent week 3 playing the new brig because I wanted to see how high I could climb. I placed silver 1 and climbed to plat 2, but overall I didn't actually improve much at all this week. Now the next week is a whole different story. Week 4 started off with my video suddenly blowing up for some reason, which had multiple high level players and coaches reach out and help out. First very quick fix was changing my crosshair to not show accuracy on every hero except Hanzo. Next, I had a long talk with an analyst and a coach about things I talked about in my week 2 video. First was me deciding to not play competitive on weekends. He had a big problem with this since he knows how important consistency is and recommended that instead of not playing at all on weekends, I should reduce the playtime of ranked, and also that I'm probably overestimating the actual skill gap between normal plat players and weekend ones. So from now on, I'll still play comp on weekends, but it'll most likely be less than weekdays. The next thing we talked about was my warm-up. The first problem with it was that it doesn't have an apparent trigger to make my brain understand that it's time to focus. Another is that playing quick play isn't a good way to warm up your game sense since no one takes it seriously. So my new warm-up looks like this. I start off with listening to the same song every day while visualizing me playing well, which works as a trigger to start focusing. I then watch the last 3 minutes of the eye training warm-up I mentioned last time since 8 minutes just takes too long. After that, I jump into Iostux's aim trainer and spend 5 minutes with each hero to warm up my base aim. Then I go to tryhard FFA and play for 5 minutes with each hero to warm up my aim under pressure. And to warm up my game sense / thinking part of playing, I watch a replay from yesterday for both heroes at 2 times speed, while focusing on a very specific thing. For example, always playing corners as Hanzo or target priority as Tracer. The warm-up takes about 30 minutes and checks all the boxes of a good warm-up. If you're wondering why I watch my replays at 2 times speed, it brings me to the next thing I learned this week, which is how to actually VOD review well. I learned this from Iostux and it's called pattern recognition. How you do it is that instead of analyzing a single game for 40 minutes trying to find exactly what you could have done and how well it could have worked out, you spend those 40 minutes watching as many games as possible, and over time you will start to find patterns in your gameplay. You then go to ranked and focus on fixing those patterns. I extremely recommend watching Iostux's video after this one. The last thing I'm changing from last week is about leaving voice and text chat. I decided not to leave them anymore, not for the purpose of communication, but for the purpose of building up tougher skin towards toxicity and not to get distracted by people flaming each other. I still stand with the point of if you only want to play ranked and just want to climb, then you should absolutely improve your focus by leaving all chats. But in my case, I want to enter scrims in the future and play on a team, so having tougher skin in that type of environment is more beneficial. Next thing I learned is about that you shouldn't look at stats. I guarantee you that they don't help. If you're the type of person who is open to the idea that you might be the reason for losing, you'll question that whether you have good stats or bad stats. If you're the type of person who blames their team and you wholeheartedly believe in elo hell, you'll blame your team no matter what stats anyone in the lobby has. You'll come up with excuses for literally anything. Stats are extremely inaccurate and they throw off your focus. The only times you should be pressing tab is either seeing what ultimates your team has, or when you're looking at the enemy comp to make a plan in your head before engaging. Which is what I want to talk about next. A big thing I learned this week is about making a plan on what you should do before the fight. For example, I'm playing Tracer and the enemy comp has a Pharah, Mercy and an Ana. In that moment, I need to figure out that the Mercy is going to be preoccupied with pocketing the Pharah and that the Ana is going to be easier to kill. Or if I'm playing Hanzo and I identify a soldier carry on the enemy team, Then I should try to either kill him or at the very least pressure him when he takes good high ground. A tracer specific thing I've also added to my list is trigger discipline, which means that instead of holding down left click every time, I should stop mid-tracking for a millisecond and reset my crosshair to the target. And my current problem with Hanzo is positioning, but the reason I'm not good at it isn't that I don't know good positions, but more that I have a tunnel vision problem, which means I focus on a target or holding a position too much to where I end up holding one bad position for way too long. In terms of rank, I got demoted to Gold 1 at the start of the season for some reason, but climbed back up to Plat 2 this week. Overall, this week has been pretty amazing, since I have a pretty clear understanding of what I have to do to get better, and also have multiple people helping me out if I have questions. Another thing I wanted to say is that please stop complaining about Elo Hell in my comments. I guarantee you that it isn't real. If you're playing competitive with the mindset of I'm good enough to climb and my team isn't letting me, then I genuinely think you should stop playing the game because you will never enjoy ranked with that mindset. Maybe in half a year you can come back and be rusty so you decide that you're not good enough and will want to improve. But otherwise, quitting the game or fully overhauling your mindset on the spot are the only things you can do. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see my progress, then subscribe. I'll be uploading on Sundays from now on. All links from videos I mentioned in this video are in this description. And see you in the next episode of Road to GM.